Welcome to this Greg's Bass Shed lesson where I'm going to show you the bass line from Feelin Good. Now there are loads of versions of this tune, probably the Nina Simone version is the most well-known version, but today I'm going to look at the version by Joe Bonamassa. I really like this one, it's got really powerful guitar on the riff. There are other versions as well. Michael Bublé did one that's quite popular, and also Muse, the band, British band Muse, did a copy as well. But once you kind of learn this bass line, you can use them for all those other tunes. The Nina Simone one, the Joe Bonamassa and the Muse versions are all in the same key. The Michael Bublé one is in a different key, but once you learn the kind of system of the descending bass line, you can use it for all those tunes. If you want to hear me playing the entire bass line, the exact bass line to the Joe Bonamassa track, then click here. I've just made a separate video that just shows me demonstrating the whole bass line, so you might want to check that out first and then come back to this lesson where I'm going to teach you the bass line. I've written this bass line, the whole exact bass line down note for note with standard notation and tab. You can get that in the free PDF booklet. If you click below in the description, you can download that for free. Okay, and on that also at the end I've put a Nina Simone version, so there's slightly different bridge versions, but you can fundamentally play the same bass line, but I've written a chart there so you can play along to that track as well. The PDF booklet's really useful for this lesson, so make sure you download that now. This is the chord sequence for the main 2-bar riff, and this chord sequence actually loops round and round. Okay, we've got a bar of G minor, a bar of G minor over F, a bar of E flat 7 and a bar of D7. Now look at that second bar, you can see G minor over F. Now that's often called a slash chord, and in that situation you always play the second letter, so in this case you always play the F. So that tells you what note you've got in the bass, that second letter, the F in this case. Sometimes you'll see the chord sequence written like this as well. You've got G minor over F, G minor over E flat, G minor over D. But again, those last 3 bars are slash chords and you always play the second letter there, so the bass line remains the same. You're basically playing root notes G, F, E flat and D. So you can see there's a really powerful descending motion there, which is doubled up with the rest of the band. So in the Nina Simone version, it's doubled up with the brass section, and in the Joe Bonamassa tune, it's doubled up with the guitar. This is what the main riff sounds like. Okay, you've got this kind of rhythm. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so we just use repeated root notes for most of it. G, G, F, F, E flat, D, and then we've got this. Okay, so that's just D, F, D, F, and then back to G again. So you could repeat that round and round, and that's your main riff. Okay, so start with a G on the 5th fret of the D string, so G, another G, and then F, 3rd fret of the D string, E flat. I play it here on the 6th fret of the A string. You can play it here, 1st fret of the D string if you want, but I play it here. And then down to D on the 5th fret of the A string, and then D, F, and then G again, okay? So just play that a few times around with me, okay? 3, 4. Okay, you can play the first note of each chord a little bit shorter if you want. You can kind of go. Okay, that's entirely up to you. And this is what you double up with the guitar on the Joe Bonamassa version. Now when you get into the verse, it's just kind of bass playing this riff in the Joe Bonamassa version. You can kind of vary that. I've written down exactly what it is on the PDF. Sometimes it's more basic, so and then hold that F on, just one of them, and then E flat, and then D, D, okay? Okay, so we'll go through the PDF and look at where the different variations are on that. There's lots of different variations. That's what makes this bass line interesting. But fundamentally, it's that descending pattern, G, F, E flat, D. Okay, sometimes it starts on the low G and F. Okay, we have to go up to the E flat. On a 4 string you haven't got a low E flat, okay, so that just kind of makes it a bit heavier, more solid if you start on the lower octaves, G, F, and then B flat up to E flat. Okay, so that's something you can do as well. So really what I'm trying to show you here is that you can kind of vary the different patterns there. If you're doing a live gig or a jam night, then you want to be coming up with the idea yourself. You don't have to stick to the exact bass line, because really that's what the bass player's doing on the track, on the Joe Bonamassa track, for example. He's just kind of playing around with that riff. Now when you get to the third verse, just watch out there, the second line's slightly different. We start with a normal riff, quite sparse. And then we go down to B flat, E flat, C, and then a slide down. Just a short slide to B flat, and then B flat, G, E flat, D. Okay, so that's slightly different on that third verse, but this is something that's unique to the Bonamassa version. Okay, so if you're playing through with that, then use this PDF. If you're enjoying this video, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure that you click the bell as well. That means that you'll get notified of all my new video lessons as they come out. So we've covered the main riff now. That makes up the majority of the bass line, but there's another section as well, and this section's got an even longer descending bass run. It's fantastic here. So the chords G minor, G minor 7 over F, C over E, C minor over E flat, D minor, C minor, G minor over B flat, D over A, C minor, D minor. Okay, so if you look at that, you can see there's loads of slash chords there. But if we take out just the root notes that we're going to play, we could write it out like this. We've just got G, F, E, E flat, D, C, B flat, A. So that's all just going down in one line. And then we've got back up again C and D. So it just kind of goes down. We've got G, F, E, or you can play E there, E flat, D, C, B flat, A. Okay, then it goes up to C to D. Okay, and we've got this pattern. So this is the second part of verse 2. Okay, we'll try that with me from the PDF. 3, 4, G, F, E, E flat, D, C, B flat, A, D, C, C, D. Okay, that's a really nice descending line. It's really satisfying to play and it sounds great. So when you, that's kind of one of the reasons why you have these slash chords, to have this really nice motion in the bass. If you didn't have the slash chords, you just wouldn't have it. You'd be jumping up and down and the bass line wouldn't be as smooth. So that's really the main sections of the song covered. You've got different variations, like I said. So play through with the PDF. Remember that there's standard notation and tab if you want that. You can get that by clicking the link in the description. So play through with the PDF and then check out my version. So if you haven't looked at it already, if you click here, you can see my version of playing through the whole track. So I've taken the bass out and I'm just playing through the Bonamassa track myself. I've also put a chord chart at the end of the PDF booklet. Now it's a really good discipline to be able to play a bass line from a chord chart. So again, you don't have to play the exact bass line. Just get that riff, learn that first riff, and then mess around, see what you can come up with. That's what you do at a jam night or a gig, okay? So look at that, learn the bass line, then look at that chord chart and try and play along and see how you get on. It's really fun to do that as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Feelin Good's a great, satisfying bass line to play because it's got that really nice motion in it. It's fairly easy to learn once you know these two sections. So remember, from the PDF, you can play the different versions. You can play the Nina Simone version, Joe Bonamassa. You'll have to transpose it to E flat for the Michael Bublé version, and there's the Muse version as well. And each version has got slightly different sections around the kind of main verses. So just have a listen to those different sections and see if you can work them out. So let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you got on, and let me know what your favourite version of Feelin Good is as well. There might be a version I haven't heard, so I'd love to know, so just let me know in the comments. Make sure you download the PDF from the description. Have a look in there. There's loads of links in there and loads of information in the description. If you can't see it on your mobile, there's a little triangle on the bottom. I think it's the bottom right hand side below the video. You can expand it and see the description there. So there's links there to my website, gbshed.com as well. I've got loads of video courses on there. I've got a blues course, a jazz course now, a new course, reading music course, jam night course. So go and check that out. I've also got a load of books on there, bass books, and you can get these t-shirts. Got a few different types of t-shirts there, so check those out in the shop. And also I've got a PDF booklet from all the PDFs from the YouTube videos 1 to 150, so you can purchase that booklet. It just saves you time downloading all the individual PDFs. Really useful booklet there. And so all of that is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can do that at the bottom there. And also like and share this video, which really helps me out. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Hope to see you very soon in the next video lesson.